Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Xah Talk Show. Today is 2021st, July 14th, 11:20 San Francisco time. And we are going to do emacs lisp coding in the beginning, I guess, and then randomish. So if you have any questions, post in the chat box, okay? So I'm not sure what I'm going to do, okay? So there are several lisp commands that, okay, one of the command I want to do is backslash to slash, okay? Let's begin writing that, okay? Let's go to talk show, today's talk show, and let's write this backslash to slash, okay? So show in talk show, so you can see this is today's talk show page. Turn on JavaScript, refresh, and then go to notes, okay, backslash to slash, okay, copy it here, show, you can see there, that's our topic, okay? So let's begin writing that. And I want to talk about several things, lots of interesting things. But let's not dribble, and let's make the talk condensed so you have full of content. If you are watching my Xah live show, talk show in, not live, you can make it play speed 1.5, okay? So let's start. So backslash to slash. So why do you need that? For example, in Windows, you use the backslash. So often, for the path. So often you want to change the slash to backslash or backslash to slash. So I want to write a command. So when called, it replace the backslash. Because otherwise, normally, if I want to replace all the slash by backslash, I have to do, for example, what I have to do is, interactive query replace slash and type then backslash and enter, then say everything, okay? So that command is query replace. That's the most frequently used command in Emacs, okay? Here, query replace. But however, there's another command you can call replace string, okay? So call replace string and backslash to backslash, and you'll do it one shot. So this saves you one keystroke basically. But anyway, still tedious because then you have to type slash and backslash and so on. So let's write a command, okay? So we are going to write a command, define function, Xah, let's say slash to backslash, okay? Slash to backslash. Okay, we're gonna do this quickly. Comments, questions, okay? Well, not until you spend an evening fixing XORG. Exactly, that's a Linux pain version. Today's date. Now the power of Xah keys. We start to get the power of emacs lisp. Okay, so we're gonna write this command. We're gonna write this very fast. Okay, I'm gonna write this. Let me show you. Okay, yeah, let me stop talking and just write it. Okay, so we want to write the command slash to backslash. So first of all, you have to define, you want to specify what region you want, okay? So let's do that. Search backward for space or line return, okay? Actually, research backward, regular expression, space or line return. So that's going to be like that, space or line return, okay? Optional, bound, no bound, no arrow. We don't care. We don't care about that. Search backward, then P1, P2, position 1, position 2. That's a cursor position, which is an integer. We define two variables. Then set P1 to be point, that is the current cursor position. So we search backward until the cursor reaches a space or line return. Actually, let's say skip. Let's actually call this command skip char backward, okay? Space or line return, okay? That and limit none, okay? So that will move point to before the character space or line return or tab. Okay, then actually that's not what we want. Okay, stupid me. Let's make the simplest case, okay, because I'm showing you to beginners basically. So let's say user make a selection first. So set point 1 to region beginning position. Region beginning, okay? So that's the region beginning. For if you have if you set a mark, you have a region, right? So we set P1 to region beginning and set P2 to region end, okay? Then we gonna then replace string, okay? Replace string, describe variable, describe function. Here you see the function of the function. So here is the syntax. Let's copy it properly. So form string. So let's look at that. So this is okay. We don't want to call this function because this function is defined in emacs lisp. So it's a higher level function. So but in general, often it's better to use the C function. So we don't want to use the higher level because when you use higher level functions, it does kind of lots of things and slower. So if we don't use this higher level function, what do? You do a while. This is what you do, okay? So you go to emacs lisp, you go to my tutorial. I can show you what to do. So here's emacs lisp tutorial. So there is a section on how to find and replace string in a region, okay? So that will be, go to the buffer, the interactive, find, replace text right there, okay? So right here. So click on that. So here is the idiom, the emacs idiom for find, replace text in a buffer. So, okay. So let's just copy that, paste it here, and also copy the URL, go to the talk show, and so paste in the talk show. So we have a record of what we talked about. You see? Okay, close that, close that, close that. Now we back in the Lisp code. So we copied this idiom, search for word string. Okay, so go to char. So go to char. So okay, so first of all, prettify the code. So we did that. Then go to char point, go to char P1. Actually, we want to narrow to region. Okay. I talk too much. Save restriction. Am I doing okay? Save restriction, narrow to region P1 to P2. Then put this inside, okay? Then go to char, search case, search case fault search. Neo, okay? We don't want case fault. We don't want Emacs to automatically determine the case by some smart way. So we want literal. So then go to char point min. Then while search for word for the slash, okay? And what is this? So describe function while search for word bound no error. Bound neo no error true. Do we want error? Neo, okay, we ignore that. So we search for word, then we replace match by backslash. So backslash in Emacs is you need double backslash, okay? Then we don't care about that. We don't care about that. We don't care about that. Prettify the code. Let me explain, okay? So here is our function. So let's okay, here is our function. Two variables, position 1, position 2, and they are the region beginning, region end. And then we narrow to region. Then we go to char point minimum. That's the beginning of a buffer position. Then we, while search for word, if it finds slash, if that's true, keep doing it and replace it by backslash. Okay, that's it. Remove that. remove that. That's it. That's our code. Okay, eval the buffer. We are done. Okay, eval the buffer. Now let's copy some. Let's copy some Windows. Okay, let's go to PowerShell. Okay, so you are looking at PowerShell. PWZ is the current path. Okay, let's see cd web XahTV info. Okay, comp. Okay, so PWZ, so that gives you the current path. You see on Windows it's backslash, so copy that, paste it here. Actually we need slash. Okay, so anyway, so let's paste it here. Okay, so that's a current. You see here's a path. We are going to try the command we just written. Okay, coed meta x. First of all we need to make a selection, so let's do that. Meta x Xah / to backslash. Okay, do it. Invalid use of backslash in replacement text. Okay, why is that? Okay, so invalid. So that's basically we run into the toothpick syndrome, the pain in the ass of emacs lisp. So basically you just need 4 backslashes for 1 backslash. Okay, I'm not going to explain. Well, the reason is that backslash, the reason is because when you call replace match, it has special syntax for backslash. For example, \1 means replace the first captured pattern. \2 means replace the second captured pattern. So backslash means, I think it means something. But anyway, let's try 4 backslashes. Okay, so evaluate the code, eval buffer. Again, you can see the command I call in the ping window. Okay, so now we want to replace the slash by backslash on this region. Coed, do it. Fantastic, it worked. Okay, so now that's not good enough because, okay, let's undo. Okay, watch this. Okay, undo. You see now it's back to slashes again. Now it's not good enough because before we call the command, we need to make a selection first. I don't want that. I'm a lazy person. Okay, I just want to call the command. You just work on the. Let's see. You should work on. So here comes the design. User interface design issue. What do you want the command to do when there is no selection? Do you want it to work on the current line, or do you want it to work on the, let's say, the current paragraph or whatever? So that's a user interface design issue. For example, if I'm working on HTML, so what do you want? What do I want when there is no text selection? Let's say work on the. I think current line is a good default. Okay, so okay, let's decide. Okay, so let's start to write a documentation. Replace slash by backslash on current line or region. Okay, so when there's no region, you just work on the current line. Okay, now we're gonna modify the code to accommodate the new specification. Okay, so before we have this is assuming we have a region. Now if there's no region, if region active, region active P. So if region is active, then you do this. Okay, copy that, paste it here, prettify the code. So if there's a region, then P1 and P2 positions are region beginning and region end. If there is no region, then what you gonna do? We are going to, when there's no region, okay, then easy, trivial. Set P1 equals to line beginning position. Okay, fantastic. And set P2 to line end position. Fantastic. Prettify the code. Everything is fantastic in Xah fly keys and Xah emacs mod. You can see I'm using Xah emacs mod. So all you have to do, so you see, if your formatting is screwed up, all you have to do is press tab. Okay, it prettify the entire function. Okay, press tab. You see, you can see tab Xah emacs lisp complete or indent. You see, because for example, if I type D here, okay, let's say DE. Okay, then I press tab, then it's completion. Okay, you don't need extra packages. Everything is built in Emacs when you use Xah emacs lisp mod. So you can see I press the tab. You can have let's say def. You can have all these functions beginning with def. Define var, define function, prompt, define a brief, whatever. But if you want to define, it's even easier. You just type D, then press space, then you have define. Then you press space again. Whoo, you got the template. It's better than white snippet, guys. Okay. Okay, that's so okay, now our function is done, evaluated, now tested. Okay, so now again move the cursor here and call it XahTV to backslash. Do it. Fantastic, it worked. Now what if there are two lines? Now what if there's a selection? So let's say you just want to, let's say I just want this part to replace. Okay, call it again. Do it. Fantastic. So passed unit test passed. Okay, so now is our code. Okay, so delete that and copy it back to XahTalk show page. Move the cursor here, paste it, show in browser. Fantastic. Now press the button to syntax color it in HTML, show in browser. Fantastic. We are done with this code. Now there's more to do. So any comments? No comment. Well, most language, okay, Windows backslashes are a real pain in the ass in most programming languages. Unfortunate design. That's true. But however, before you start to hate Windows, let me tell you that perspective, how Windows backslashes is a pain in the ass, is from the Unix perspective. The Unix fucked it up in the first place. Actually, that's not true. So we have the question, we have a file path or URL path, look at the URL path. So they are all, the separator is the backslash. But you have to wonder, why is backslash? Why? Because is that a good design? You have to think about that. If you assume the backslash is the right way, of course, the Windows fucked it up. Microsoft, fuckheads, they fucked it up. They make everything painful. They are trying to do their own ways. But why is slash the proper way? Is it true? You haven't thought about it. Let me tell you. So if you actually think about it, the slash is actually the inferior design. The Unix fuckheads. Okay, the slash is the inferior design. Why? Because when you want the separators for the path or directory or folders, you want to think about that's tech geekers in society wanted to do that. Because average people, mom and pop, they write novels, they write fictions, they write, something, this, that, okay? They slash is the more frequently used character in human languages than backslash, okay? You got that? So normally when people write, you want the slash, you don't want you need to use the slash. For example, in file names, today in Unix, for example, you cannot have a slash in file names. It fuck things up. You can technically, but then you have to escape and all that. Okay, but anyway, the point is that for most people, the slash is the character you want. Okay, so but for the tech geekers, the programmers, the hackers, the C++ idiots, they are like 1% of society, 0.11. The programmers, engineers, their need should not have priority over the mass people, the people who use computers. So if you want to design the separator for the path separator, it should be, you probably the backslash is probably a superior choice. Okay, something like that. You want to think about these. Okay, so you want to basically you have to think about that. On the Mac, okay, let me tell you, Apple computers, Mac, they have the best design since the beginning. On the Mac, the separator Mac OS Classic, okay, that's the 1990s Mac OS, okay. The separator is the colon, okay. For let me show you, okay. So on the Mac, this is the separator, okay. So on the Mac, the path separator is the colon. Okay, that's Mac OS Classic. But since Mac OS X, the Unix-based, the Unix-based thing, since 2002, they changed that. But however, it's not simple. You see, let me tell you about history. Okay, so in 2002, Mac OS 10 come out, the Mac OS X, 2002. So they say they adopted the solid industrial standard Unix. That's the marketing, that's the Mac marketing thing. So they adopted, basically they adopted the BSD microkernel, the operating system. Okay, so and they also adopted they didn't adopt the file system, but however they adopted the kernel. Okay, let me show you some. Let's search for Unix pestilence. Okay, so we start to digress into some of the interesting things, kind of, depending on what your. So any questions, comments? No questions. Okay, so so let's look at the Unix pestilence. We talked about this a few times. Let's turn on JavaScript. Turn on so you can see Unix pestilence talk show. The Unix pestilence that damaged in computing industry for in a perpetual way, perpetual damage. Pervasive damage to the computing industry, Unix. Okay, so what I want to show you now is some history about Mac OS X. Okay, so you can see FreeBSD. I love this this artwork, FreeBSD. So Apple, here's the Apple logo back in 1990s. And Mac OS X, then Mac OS 10 came out 2002. And here is a poem. Let me read it out to you. Mac OS X, one of those Unix, beauty and beasts, now Unix complex. I love Apple OS. I hate all Unix. Now with OS X, love, hate amiss. The sea of phonetics, Unisys and open source, Beaverses and buttheads, making all the noises. Yeah, that's back then when Mac OS 10 came out, and all the people like you guys need to talk about, is Mac OS X Unix, or then think different voices clamoring all over places, beauty and eunuchs, marries in peace. Now you remember think different. You may not remember the time goes on as I get old, soon about to die. You don't remember things, but history. You hear history from old people, from your granddad. Okay, so here is think different. Do you know what is think different? So that's a big thing. Okay, so for this we need to go to XahArts. Okay, again turn on JavaScript. XahArts goes in a shell and stuff, and XahArts, and we go to humor. Okay, so you go to humor, then you have several interesting things, and let's look at this. This Motorola commercial marks Apple 1984. Okay, so very interesting. Okay, so you might check it out. I'm not going to go through. Now here's 1984 Apple's commercial. Okay, so here's 1984 Apple's commercial. Let me show you some interesting things. Okay, let's go to the iconic moment where a female, that's important by the way. If it's a male, it doesn't work. The whole movie, the whole how do you say, movie scripture or whatever, the whole thing must be a female. Okay, girls. Like this connects to how I talked about why girls is everywhere. Okay? Girl is the most important thing in humanity. And anyway, so here is your girl throwing a hammer and smashing this head. This head is supposed to be Microsoft. Now this is 30 years ago, 1984. Okay, 1984 commercial. Big. This commercial is in the marketing community, which you are not in, okay, but if you are a marketing, if you are a salesperson, you have to study, salesperson in their community, they have their own jargons and stuff. So this commercial is considered one of the most successful marketing, marketing material, the tactics or whatever. Anyway, so then Apple becomes, then Motorola makes fun of Apple. So, so we have the Apple world. Everyone is on the Apple iPad, iPhone, iHeadset, whatever. And again, girls, okay? So again, let me mention, you see another beautiful girl, which is the main, part of the main, actually, the main point or thing of the video. Without her, the entire video collapse. Okay, so this guy is trying to send her a flower. Okay, so anyway, so this is Motorola. This is 2011, 10 years ago. Motorola making fun of Apple. Okay, but now the point I want to show is the think different. Think different. I don't have a article about that, but if you search, you'll know what I'm talking about. Okay, yeah, Xerox PARC. Okay, so let me go back to what we were talking about. Think different as voices. Okay. So then the poem, my poem, in my dream OS, there is no Unix, beauty and elegance without phonetics. Okay, that's 2002, the poem I wrote about Mac OS 10. And again, about 5 years ago, Apple dropped the X. Now it's just Mac OS again. So anyway, so in 2002, Apple adopted the, actually, there's another thing I want to show you, the funny here, okay? So Apple, made this ad, sends other Unix boxes to Dev Null back in 2002, all over magazines. So here is the screenshot of my Mac in 2003. Okay, so you can see it's running. You have the top, you have all the Unix commands. So again, It's borrowed from the BSD kernel, okay, and associated tools such as the T shell, TC shell, okay. In the beginning, Apple is using TC shell, which is from BSD people, which is a shell based on the C language. C, C and Unix, they bootstrap each other. TC shell, then TC shell got dropped, then Bash became the default shell because TC shell sucks, okay. Bash becomes the default shell on Apple Mac. Then about 5 years ago, or 3 or 4, Bash is gone. Now the default shell is TC shell again, I think. Is that right? I forgot. Look up Wikipedia, you'll find. Why? Because Bash belongs to GNU, the GNU. Let me show you another thing, okay? XahEmacs. So you go to my Emacs blog. I have a latest entry on this GNU Pepe. I love this artwork. GNU Pepe. So GNU, okay. The GNU is not Unix. Remember, now you have to remember history, okay. Remember who is your dad. Remember your ancestors. Pay respect. So GNU, why is it? What does GNU mean? The Free Software Foundation project named GNU. What does that mean? Well, it stands for the hacker idiocy, so-called recursive acronym, which is one of the hackers' idiocy, because recursive acronym does not exist in English literature. It is invented by the hacker idiots. They think they are Shakespeare, so they, created recursive acronym. And PHP, pretty homepage, long story. They also adopted, recursive. Oh, PHP is a recursive acronym. PHP stands for PHP Hypertext Processor. Recursive acronym, okay, loved by hackers all over. They think they are doing Shakespeare. But anyway, GNU is a recursive acronym. So what does it stand for? It stands for GNU is not Unix. Okay? Now remember, this is important. GNU is not fucking Unix. Okay, that's what it stands for. So most people, today's young people, you think, oh, GNU, Free Software Foundation. Yeah, they support Unix. No. GNU, the original, the birth of GNU is not fucking Unix. Fuck Unix. Okay, GNU is Lisp, philosophy-wise. Okay, so, and you may not know what is, Unix. Okay, so let's go back. Lots of history here. So you may not know what is Unix. Unix is a commercial entity, just like Microsoft and Google today. Now you're looking at history. Free the Berkeley. So you can see these comics. This is the kind of history of BSD, free BSD. Okay, so what are they doing? They are poking DOS. DOS is Bill Gates DOS, and they are poking this thing. What is this thing? That's AT&T. Okay, that's the empire. That's the phone you are using, the phone networks. So GNU is not Unix. Okay, remember the name. GNU is not Unix. It's not Unix philosophy. Fuck. GNU is not. Emacs is not. Okay, but today you don't know. You think, open source, free software, they are friends. And the GNU and Unix are friends. Fucking idiots. Okay, so and pretty girls, of course. I love them. And Unix is okay. So back to what we were talking about. We were talking about Mac OS 10. They adopted BSD, right? They adopted BSD kernel, but they got a problem. Because on the Mac, you need certain backward compatibility. On the Mac, the separator is the colon. Okay. The file separator is the colon, it's not the slash. So there are a lot of file names, folder names, they have slash in them. But now you are switching to the Unix kernel and switching to the Unix shell. Then you got a problem, because lots of file names, existing file names for over 10 years, they have slash in their path. Then but on the other hand, the Unix, the T shell, the slash is a file path separator. So what are you gonna do? You got a problem. So the Mac people, they do engineering. They do great. They did a lot of engineering so that on the Mac file system, such that the consequence is that you can still use, the colon is still the file path separator. But however, underneath, so basically they created a layer. So underneath, you are using slash, but the colon is still the file separator, okay, for file names. So anyway, you can look up Wikipedia. You can find what I'm talking about somewhere in Wikipedia, okay. So anyway, we did this. So let's go back to talk show. Show in browser. Okay, let's paste something we talked about. Okay, we talked about, let's see, find replace string in buffer. Okay, so we talked about that. We talked about we talked about Unix pestilence, the history of Mac OS X. Paste it here. Then we talked about this funny ad, this kind of significant ad for the Apple. Okay, and we talked about the Apple 1984 commercial and Motorola making fun of it. So why is this? This is interesting because it captures, illustrate history. Because in 1984, the people, most of us, our conception is that Microsoft, Bill Gates, is the evil empire. And but now, after 20 years, Apple is considered the evil empire. Okay, so that's why. That's some of the interesting things. Then GNU Pepe. Okay, so that's also interesting artwork wise, and also GNU. The history of GNU, the naming of the GNU. Okay, so we also talked about the Mac separator. Okay, let's just copy that. Okay, show in browser. Okay, no comment. So yeah, so back to, I'm kind of replying to your comment about slash versus backslash. So slash, again, I despise the Unix and C people, because has anyone, let me ask you guys the question, has anyone ever looked into or thought about why did Unix, the people use slash? I haven't thought about it myself, but I've thought about many of such design issues of the Unix or C. And from my experience of looking into them, the question usually is, there's no reason, okay? It just happened to be, because they thought it works. That's what many designs in Unix and C is like that. It just worked. It just happened. I'm a programmer. There's a slash character on a keyboard. It's easy to type. Then it's not used. Let's just use that. That's lots of the design stories of the Unix and C idiots. They have no design. That's why I despise Unix and C. Okay, so that's one of the the slash and backslash. So about which one should it be? Okay, I have actually quite a lot articles related, naming the allowed characters in file names on Unix and why, and on Apple. Okay, let's skip that. So we have written this code. on emacs, we just created the command. Actually, we need another command. We need another command to replace backslash to slash. Okay, and actually, we need 2 more commands. Okay, let me show you. Okay, let me explain. You'll know why. Okay, so we have 1 command. We need 2 more commands. Okay, so let me write down. Okay, so XahTV to double backslash. We also need that. Why do you need that? Because then we also need double backslash to slash. Okay. Yeah, we also need these 2 commands, double backslash to slash. Why? Because on Windows. Okay, let me explain. Okay, so on basically in Emacs, when you have a backslash. Okay, so let me show you. Okay, so here is a slash. Let's make it backslash. So okay, so you have a file path that's backslash. So this works in PowerShell, for example. So let's go to, for example, let's copy that. Let's switch to PowerShell. Let's cd to backslash. Okay, let's cd to that directory. It works. Okay, let's cd to some other directory first, then cd to the directory we want with a backslash. Okay, it works. But however, if you are coding in emacs lisp, if you are, for example, you want to launch, you are coding a command to launch GIMP, okay, or whatever, you need file path. But in Emacs string, this doesn't work. You see, because in a Emacs list string, backslash is an escape character. So to represent this, backslash path, if you want to pass this path into PowerShell, you actually need double backslash. So you need like that. Okay. So what you see the syntax coloring is already fucked up. You see. So this actually fucked up syntax coloring for the whole shell, for the whole buffer. You see, because when you have 1 single backslash, that means escape. It fucked it up. So you actually need this. Okay, so that is why you need these 2 more commands. Okay, let's just write it quickly. Okay, so copy it, paste it, delete that. Let's post it here, shrink. Okay, and show the pink window and shrink a little bit. So we have a new command. So this is slash to double backslash. Okay, so now we need to slash to double backslash. So double backslash is now 8 backslashes. You see the toothpick syndrome. This is called toothpick syndrome by the hackers. Okay, so I have an article on that. So it can get quite dramatic. So we are seeing, in a practical, we are seeing 8 backslashes, but there's situations where you need more. There's a record, so you can see here you have 10 backslashes. Okay, then on this file is part of Emacs. Okay, this file you can go check it out. This one is got 17 backslashes. So okay, so the Emacs lisp toothpick syndrome. Now hackers call this toothpick syndrome, but the millennial generations, you guys don't know. Okay, let me write it down. So that's another thing we talked about, toothpick syndrome. Okay, show in browser, there it is. Okay, close that. So we just created this command. Let's test if this works. Okay, so we're gonna evaluate the buffer. So we have we eval the buffer, and we paste open a new buffer, we paste it here, magnify Then we call the command. Let's see if it works. XAH slash 2 double backslash. Do it. Fantastic. Okay, it worked. Okay, close that. Then we also need another command. Let's copy it. We also need that another command. That's a double backslash 2 slash. Okay. Okay, so double backslash 2 slash. So we gonna modify here. That's double backslash. Okay, and here slash. Okay. We don't need that. Let's prettify the code. Okay, so we have 1 command, 2 command, then 3 command. Okay, evaluate the buffer. Then so this is double backslash 2 slash. Okay, now open a new buffer, magnify. So first of all, we call slash 2 double slash. Okay, fantastic. Now we call XAH double slash 2 backslash. I mean double backslash 2 slash. Let's see. Do it. Fantastic. So now we have written 3 commands. Delete it and copy it and back to XAH Talk Show. Open it and paste it here. Show in browser. Back to Emacs. Colorify it. Show in browser. Fantastic. 3 commands complete. Okay. Anything else? Looks like that's it for today. So we talked for 1 hour. Yes, we talked for 1 hour. And anything else? Okay. Okay, so if you like my stuff, go by my Emacs tutorial. Okay, so you can go here and you can find, you go to Emacs Lisp tutorial and you click to buy PayPal, Patreon me, Amazon gift card me, or buy my tutorial. Okay. Okay, that's it. Let's see what else. So we talked about an hour. What else now? Okay, that's it for today, I guess. Is there something other? Do you use layers on your keyboard? No, I don't use layers. Well, actually, I do. You know, so my keyboard, not really. So okay. So let me keyboard time. So again, let me show you. So this is my keyboard. So this is Kinesis Advantage 2 with silent cherry red switches. Okay, linear light. This is Ultimate Hacking Keyboard. I showed you many times. It's using it as a keyboard macro pad. Okay, so do I use layers? Basically no, because I talked about I hate never have like coded keys, Control Alt Meta crap. You want to avoid that as much as possible. If you already have repetitive strain injury, your hand pain I talked about, or if you type a lot. And what do you mean by a lot? If you are a programmer, you might think, oh, I type a lot. No, you don't, because you have to key lock. Okay, so let me talk about I'll keyboard. So that's my Kinesis. So that's my review. You can go read or buy on Amazon for my link, please. And yeah, so basically I don't have any layers, except actually I do, except when I hold down the N key. So let me show you. Okay, so let's start VS Code. Okay, so for example, so show in browser, Emacs keyboard block, back to this page, back to Emacs. Now VS Code, XAH open VS Code, do it. So we are looking at the same page, close that. So this is my keyboard block in VS Code. So actually I can type something here. You know, I don't use VS Code actually. So let's type here. So let's, for example, so if I want to type numbers, you know, numbers, usually you use the number row on top. But however, on the Kinesis, I can hold down the end key. Hold down the end key, which is the thumb key here. So hold down the end key, and my right hand becomes number pad. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Actually, so let me show you. So can you see? Okay, so I need to show this window. Yeah. So you can look at number there, and you see, so I hold down this end key, you cannot see, but it's right on the left side. So I hold it down, so I can type 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's about the only layer I use, and this is actually pretty convenient. This is more convenient than the number row on top. Okay, that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Bye. Have a good day. Until next time. Back to Emacs. Now back to Emacs. So you see on the VS Code. Now did I save? No, I didn't save. So let's save it. So once you save it, you can see it's updated in Emacs because you have revert buffer mod on, something like that. Okay, but we don't need that. Delete that. Back to ES Code. You see, VS Code also automatically update. So okay, close VS Code. So yeah, I don't use VS Code. Control Q for exit, right? No, wait, file. Oh, these days they don't, normally the standard key to quit is Control Q, but these days they don't do that. Sometimes, beginning with Google Chrome, they made it so that it becomes Control Shift Q. And in VS Code, they removed that shortcut entirely. You don't have Control Q, so you just, exit. Yep, okay, bye.